guys. Welcome to the Cloud Pink Podcast. We're starting right where we left off on the last episode. And where we left off was that we left the Vietnamese border and went back into Vietnam. And then our bike started smoking. And we're out in the middle of the night in like a very rural area with nobody around. Hopping right into it. Thanks for being here. So we were like, fuck. And
there was no town around us. We had to go back 8 miles downhill. Luckily, it was mostly downhill.
We walked the bike for 8 miles in the dark on a rural highway.
8 kilometers, sorry.
8 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was about 5 miles. So yeah, that makes sense. 8 kilometers. Yeah. And we
found a mechanic there.
We did. And again, he was like,
he's
too late. And we're like,
too late. We'd have to order some parts from Hanoi, and like, I don't know, it's gonna be expensive too. Your transmission's busted.
And he basically just gave
he's like, I need 2 days, at least a day to do this. And I was like,
and we were just like,
well, we were like, okay, we can probably, you had this US Bank credit card we were thinking we'd use, remember? But there was no ATM around too.
There was no ATM. There was really nothing. And what we ended up doing is, like, he was like, you know, you might want to just like leave the bike, right? Like, did he tell us that?
Come back and get a taxi. They all
and you need to understand, we are like at least like 9-10 hours away from Hanoi.
No, it was not 9-10. It was actually like 5-6. But on the motorcycle, it takes that long. It was like, yeah, I remember because on our way back, it took us 5 hours when we got there. In the car. Well, so sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah, explain what happens.
So it was really hard to let go of our Betsy. We decided to let go. I just installed so many new things on the motorcycle, new mirrors.
Dude,
it looked so cool.
It
hurt. We had those leather bags installed.
Hurt to let go, but we let it go. We were just like, keep the bike, dude, because there's nothing that we could do, and what we did is we called
our visa lady.
The visa lady, and we were like, we are stuck here at the border. We don't have the bike. We don't have money. Can you talk to the mechanic? Whatever. She ended up getting us a taxi. She coordinated with the guy.
Yeah,
we
waited there for an hour and the taxi was there.
Yeah, she coordinated with the mechanic. They got us a car and like somebody to drive us back to Hanoi, and she was like, I'm going to pay for it, but I'm going to hold your passports until you can pay me back when you guys get paid later this month.
Yeah, that was like
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
You know, and so a week later we just paid her and got her passport.
Yeah. But yeah, so this guy drove us all the way back to Hanoi. So that was also, I think, part of what contributed to it starting to feel like the end, because it was like
challenges.
The bike is gone.
Yeah, we ended up renting a scooter after
the shop is gone.
Yeah.
The job is over.
The shop wasn't gone yet. Shop was shortly after gone.
But I mean, in sequential order, it was like, okay, like the bike is gone, the shop is gone, my job is gone. Now I have an online job. Like, let's just travel now.
Yeah,
let's just
and then
keep
like
it moving,
again,
basically.
like, you know, sometimes you feel like it's time. It was time. I mean, we made such great friends in Vietnam, though. I mean, like lifelong friends. Still talk to them.
Love you guys.
Yeah. I still like have such a place for Vietnam. It's always gonna be in my heart.
Forever.
I'm gonna go there as much as I can when I can. We haven't been able to since COVID, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't traveled as much as we used to. So yeah, I mean, we packed up everything, left our house in Hanoi after that motorcycle was gone.
Got a carry backpack for Ob.
Yeah, we got a backpack. It's an American flag, surprisingly.
Yeah, that's the only one we could find.
Yeah, and then we got her all her microchip shot, everything we could get done and prepared.
Snuck her onto the train.
Snuck her on the train down to Da Nang. And then we took a taxi to Hoi An. So if you guys want, like, this is a really beautiful town in Vietnam. Da Nang City is also amazing. There's a dragon bridge.
We'll try to put some pictures of Hoi An up on the screen and also on the
Instagram.
Instagram.
I have some really good pictures that I took in Hoi An.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, like, Da Nang is the city where there's that bridge with the hands like that.
And Hoi An is like a beach town, and there's also a part where it's like very old.
Yeah,
and
there's a canal.
And they put like floating lanterns
down
the canal every night, right?
Yeah, every night they put floating lanterns in the canal. It's like such a beautiful city.
Such a romantic little town, honestly.
Yeah, so our friend was working in Hoi An at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So you were working remotely. I was enjoying the beach. We stayed,
yes.
we stayed there for a week or so. And then from there we made our way out. Again, we got a bus from there into Cambodia. So our plan was going from Vietnam to Cambodia, maybe to Laos, then Thailand, Myanmar, India, doing a whole road trip across.
Yeah.
So we started that, and then we ended up in Cambodia on a bus, which we snuck her in. We snuck up in the bus too. That was a pretty comfy, nice bus. And then we got into Cambodia. They just dropped us off the bus, and then we got in this dinky little bus. And then at the border checkpost, literally, we were like so prepared to take off to another country with all the paperwork and the shots and microchip and this test and that test. And they're like, "You have a dog? $5."
Yeah, $5. And then like it was some big thing. We're like,
yeah.
Yes!
And then we got there. We were in Siem Reap. Before that, we were in this town. That we got to go to these mines that they made zircons. Not like the fake stuff, real zircons. We still have some of them.
And they had other gemstones too.
Yeah, we have a lot of them actually.
Yeah, we bought a lot of blue zircons. You want to buy them? Hit us up.
Yeah, we bought it directly from the mine. We looked at the process and we made sure it's not like some crazy stuff. It was just a local family just mining stuff from their land.
But we saw how crazy that was. Like, they just dig these deep holes and they just go down. It's wild.
Yeah, there was no blood diamonds,
rubber.
Luckily.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we would never
There's lots of like rubber trees and stuff like that too. And
yeah,
it's just like an interesting natural.
So we made friends with the homestay we stayed at. Those are really sweet family. Yeah. They taught us a little bit of Khmer.
Yeah.
The Cambodian
how to speak.
Language.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I still remember them. I just need a minute to remember the numbers, but.
And then, we went to Siem Reap. And this is the biggest... This is the biggest travel mistake we've ever made, okay? We were trying to go to the...
Angkor
Wat, yes.
But you dropped an iPad on your foot.
Yeah. I dropped this freaking iPad on my foot.
Walk.
And my toenail fell off.
But nothing happened to that iPad. I still have it.
Yeah, the iPad was fine, but my toenail fell off, and it took months to regrow it. And it was like, I was really hurt. And also, because I was working, it was like hard to figure out the timing and all this stuff. But for some reason, for all of these reasons, we did not go to Angkor Wat. And
that was a big regret.
Because
we tried to book the tour, but then you couldn't walk, and then you got so busy with your work, and
it was just some weird thing. It was just some weird thing, and then we didn't go. And I remember the logic was like, "Of course we'll be back here. Mm-hmm. Of course we'll be back here." Well, we haven't been back since. Of course we will go at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't think in any part of our mind we thought that we were not going to keep living in Asia, probably. Like, I don't know. Like, we weren't.
Yeah, we weren't prepared for what was. I guess.
Yeah.
We were just going on with life as it took us.
If you freaking go to Cambodia,
go to
Angkor Wat. And like in general, if you go somewhere to a country, take advantage of the time that you're there and go do the thing, because like, you never know, like, if you're actually going to be able to do it later.
Yeah, and after Cambodia, we took a road trip into Thailand. That was an interesting trip, little border crossing, because we had op again. I took her to a vet in Cambodia to get all the paperwork that Thailand requires, which they actually checked.
Yeah.
So got that done. And then we got into Thailand. Since I had an Indian passport back then, they always ask for boarding for Indian people, like to show like where you're staying and stuff. We didn't have that, or I had to print this thing from the Airbnb, and so they sent me back into Cambodia. So I went back, printed something, and then came back in, and was like, why is Thailand being such a pain? And then like they were like, no, come tomorrow. They told me.
Was I already in?
Yeah, you were already in with Ob and waiting for me, and they told me to come tomorrow. I was like, no. I was like, my partner and my dog are through here. Somehow got out, took a bus.
Somehow got out.
Yeah, talked them into it, and then they laughed and whatever. It was a pain. Took 2 additional hours on my time, but
2 hours isn't too bad, I guess.
Yeah, and then took a bus into Bangkok. This was the time that we really, really explored Bangkok.
Yes.
Because usually when we did go to Thailand, before this, we've been to Thailand how many times? I don't even remember.
Will you go get your watch for this story?
Maybe. It's okay.
No, please go get it for the story. Go get it. Go get it.
Go get my watch?
Yeah, I'll keep it going until you get back. Or I could just pause. So basically, yeah, we were exploring Bangkok so much because the other times that we had gone to Thailand, which so many times, we love you, Thailand. Like we mostly went to beach places or like nature places and stuff. We hadn't explored the city that much.
We've been to islands, national parks and all that. But yeah, we didn't go to the city as much. So I'm a city person. I wanted to explore. So we went and got this little hostel, which we sneaked up into. Like we got a nice room at this big hostel in Chinatown.
Chinatown was so
epic because
dope.
It was during the Mid-Autumn Festival.
Yeah, and we went to August. That really, really cool like night market in Bangkok.
Yeah, I forget the name, but we went to.
It's just vibes. Like everybody's dressed so cool, and the food's so good, and everything's cool.
So we saw all these temples. We went to Wat Arun.
Oh, and we watched that show on Netflix about street food, and
we went to and had the curry in that corner in Chinatown.
Yes, and that place. Okay, do you remember what it's called? Everybody should go there.
Like, the original pad thai.
The original pad thai.
So
it's
you'll have to wait for a couple hours. We got lucky. We only had to wait. Generally, it waits longer, but the day we went, we didn't have to wait too long. So they basically make this really thin omelet and then wrap the pad thai inside it with this shrimp the size of a fish.
I cannot even explain
how delicious that was.
Freaking good that is. Mm-hmm. It's actually one of the best things. I'm gonna die right now just thinking about it of hunger, and I wasn't even hungry.
I'm booking flights to Thailand.
Just right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, babe, we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we gotta go.
We're probably going to India anyways. So.
We just need to actually just do all of Southeast Asia again, basically, right now. Yeah. Anyway, I'm astral projecting.
Oh, please support us.
Yeah, buy our products.
Buy our products so we can. We
need to go.
We'll probably make vlogs this time we go. I don't know, cinematics.
Oh yeah, we always wanted to do that, but we were always just like honestly way too in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, then when we were leaving, so we decided while we were in Thailand,
we wouldn't go to Myanmar.
Right, because we actually started doing some deep research, and it was like they might kill your dog at the border.
Yeah, if they find something wrong, which Op is paralyzed.
Yeah.
We didn't want them to think she has a disease or any of that, which she doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't, but they were like, if they think that your dog is unhealthy,
that was their quarantine law.
They'll kill it. And so we were like, okay, we can't do that. So what we actually decided to do is we were going to India. We did want to go to Myanmar, but it was more important for us to go back to India and see your family and everything. So what we did is we actually, and the thing is, India is the only country we've never been able to bring Op in.
Because you have to prepare beforehand. You can take your dog, but it's a hassle.
It's a huge
Because, in India we have a huge, straight out crisis.
Right.
And a lot of people...
So they don't want you to just bring a dog. So we've never been able to bring her, which has always been,
sad.
So sad, because it's the one place we, want to go the most, of course.
Yeah.
And then... whatever. So what we did is we actually found in Bangkok this amazing amazing business just run by these like gay girls who have like expertise in taking care of disabled and elderly dogs.
Yeah, that was
and
so
we're
sweet.
like, what? So we actually boarded her in Bangkok, and they were like, they actually are the ones that even taught us how to better take care of her, because we didn't know we had to like squeeze her and stuff like that. So that's what we did. And then right when we had boarded her and we were getting ready to go to the airport.
No, this was right before we boarded her, actually. Here's why.
Okay.
So I went to get... So you were busy on your VIP kid thing or your teaching thing.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by them, so you can pay us. VIP kid. So I went to Chinatown, like far in, to get... diapers and some more essentials we needed for Op and you and me. So I went to the store, right? I'm like enjoying Chinatown, and then I come out of the store. I'm waiting to get a tuk-tuk, which is the 3-wheel, to go back to the hotel. And suddenly I passed by this old Chinese couple. And bear in mind, like, people are celebrating Mid-Autumn festival, and people are decked out. They're buying gold. That place is insane. The amount of gold and stuff they're selling. I think there's something to do with fortune that they buy gold at that time. But I was enjoying taking in the scenery of the city, and then I passed this old couple while walking, and then I'm trying to stop a tuk-tuk, and then suddenly I hear a scream. And it's that old couple that I passed. Someone snatched their bag and then started running. So instantly my reflexes kick in. And then I stepped on this person's
ninja.
And like stopped him and grabbed their bag. He somehow got away, but I grabbed the bag for the old people and gave it back to them. They were in tears. They were so happy. And then the man, older man, could speak a little bit of English. So it was like he was thanking me, and then the woman, his wife...
Didn't they say our whole life in Thailand
is in this
bag?
Like, because the bag literally had stacks of cash. Like, stacks of cash. It was insane. And then, this is they basically what he told me is like they sold everything they had there. They're moving back to their village in China. Or city.
So their whole life was literally in the back.
Yeah, so they spent a lot of time in Thailand as Chinese people, and then they were going back. And then, so the lady calls him in and is like, says something, and then they're like, bless you, bless you. And then, as good fortune, they gave me this Rolex. Trust me, it's not some fake ass shit. It's real. It's a 5-digit watch. Yeah, it's authenticated, serviced at Rolex and everything. So I was like, I don't want to accept that. So they gave it to me literally on the box like that, but I had to throw away the box because, and if you're going through customs, they might charge you. I was like, ugh. Which makes it so it would be hard for me to resell too. Right? Yeah, but you never wanted to. I never wanted. So it's like my good karma there. Instant
Didn't they
good
say
karma.
like, this will always bring you good luck?
Yeah, so this is a Rolex Submariner 2008. Especially this is a special edition too. So
it has brought you good luck too. Like you always wear it for like special things. Like
now I wear it more regularly at work and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so that was good karma. Do good things, you might end up with a 5-figure watch.
It was so awesome. When you came back and told me that story, I was so shook. Like,
yeah, it was insane. And I thought it might be just like a replica or something. So just out of my curiosity, I took it to the Rolex in Bangalore, got it tested and serviced. And they're like, yeah, it's real. He's like, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, wow. And
so sweet.
Not that I didn't trust them. I just wanted to.
No, but you saved so much. Like
they had tons of gold. I don't know, all sorts of stuff in there. It's a heavy bag. And then after look at Italy, she's like staring in. So yeah, after that we took a flight down to Bangalore. Spent a couple weeks in Goa. When we went there, we met up a friend from Vietnam while we were there.
The one that did the
Banana Island Festival.
Yeah.
Then your friend from Delhi too, who was having a hard time.
Yeah.
So it was a fun trip.
Goa was so fun.
And then after that, you flew to the States. After that, and because you hadn't seen your family in 2 years, I got to see my family like 2 years later when we went to India, of course. So I was planning to stay a little bit, then go to the States, like maybe a month later or something. We hadn't planned yet because she was the one making a good bit of money. I wasn't as much. I was like, I'm gonna deal with some business stuff in India and then join you.
Yeah, but basically we were just thinking, like we were just going to visit the States and then keep it moving. But, so yeah, we made it to San Francisco at the end of November.
Yeah, well, I had some situations in India that I just left early.
Yeah.
And I just decided to leave overnight, and I did. And that was a long journey, too. So you were in San Francisco at your friend's house.
Yeah.
Who was the same friend who was supposed to visit in Switzerland. And then I joined. I must say, though, this was the toughest airport experience I've had in my life. I mean, I've get profiled at every single airport, even home airport of Bangalore. Now home airport is here in the US, but it was really tough. They almost sent me back. I mean, bear in mind, I had a 10-year visa here.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't intend to migrate here or any of that.
Yeah.
And I gave them proof, and they took me to secondary check. They checked all sorts of things, plugged in my phone somewhere, and without any consent, they say this is your consent and give you that little form. And I'm like, I didn't sign that. So they ask you all sorts of questions. This guy then goes and gets my bags, checks everything, checks me in this like weird stainless steel like looking room. Cold, very cold in there. It was such a horrific experience. So, yeah, somehow this Latino officer took care of me and let me go.
I was so worried. We were waiting for you for like
3 hours.
I think it was like 6 hours.
No, it was 3 hours.
No, honestly, I remember like 5-6 hours passing, and I was so scared that like, why isn't he coming out? The flight was so long ago. We kept just being at the airport.
I thought it was 3. It's 3 hours. It just felt like 6. I remember the time. So yeah, I was 3 hours in there, and then made it to the States. Op was there. They're so happy to see me. I loved it. Loved the area. The Bay Area was beautiful. It took a little bit to get used to after that airport incident. Yeah, that's how we ended up in the States, and then your mom came and picked us up a couple weeks later from Petaluma.
And so we came up to Oregon.
One of the most beautiful drives. I mean, the West Coast is just so beautiful. We've done it a couple times, a few times.
So we were spending time with family. It's getting towards the end of the year, holiday season and everything. And then we start hearing from friends back in Vietnam about a new thing called coronavirus.
Coronavirus. We all remember that, right?
Yeah. So that's where we'll leave the story until next episode.
Well, we'll touch base on our travels in the States, how we ended up staying here, of course, and hindered our travels, but also gave us moments of growth with our business, which coming to business again, cloupingbeauty.com. Use the code podcast. I'm going to make sure the code is live if there's any issue at all. One of the other things is, I just wanted to bring this up. We've talked about this in terms of pricing for our business. I know products can be expensive for a lot of people. There's various ranges for people. I've been very mindful in designing the products with how much quantity and how it would fit into a person's budget. Of course, currently we're serving internet, like all the markets, but it's mainly here in the US. We would love it if everyone everywhere from the world buys it, except for land that never existed. But so that thing with the pricing. So if you have any difficulties or anything, we do offer pay over time with Shop Pay. So definitely the zero interest. I mean, and if that's a lot and stuff too, just hit me up. I will definitely see what I can do for you. All right. So yeah.
Also, each product is something that lasts for a really long time. A small amount goes a very long way. Like I just use like the teeniest, tiniest little beep amount each time, and it covers the whole
let
face.
me just go through one by one. The cleanser, that's 50 milliliters or 1.7 ounces for people who use Imperial system. I don't know. So yeah, the cleanser, compared to last time, it has a lot more actives now. It has cucumber water too this time, and it's amazing. This you just have to use a pump, just like, and you could spread it. And then the toner too. I mean, this thing will last a while.
Yeah.
Depends on how much you use. Use it day and night because there's no like super acidic things that would like harm you in the sun. But definitely just don't use the toner as your last piece of skincare because that's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, willow bark extract. So
what does willow bark extract do?
Similar function as salicylic acid is a BHA. It's a natural. It's a little gentler than salicylic acid.
So if somebody has like a problem with salicylic acid,
which salicylic acid is very irritating to a lot of people. You can get purges and stuff too. Willow bark extract, on the other hand, won't do that. It's much more gentler. It's still strong, so it's in like little doses. Plan with that. The standout ingredient, of course, in the serum is going to be THCA, which is it's so hard to say the word. Tetrahexyldiesel, whatever, ascorbate. It's the most soluble and bioavailable form of vitamin C. It's really expensive. Like when I price these things, it reflects what I use in it, my time, the love I put into it, and we've still priced it very, very generously.
But tell us, why would somebody want that form of vitamin C versus like a different kind?
Yeah, because the thing is, like, ascorbic acid is like weak because it degrades really fast. This doesn't. So the one I've used in here is oil soluble, and then I also use a water soluble in different products, but this one is oil soluble, and it's the most stable form. It will stay longer, and also our bottles are Myron ultraviolet glass. So basically, the UV rays just bounce off instead of going and degrading the products. So a lot of times when people use those stupid plastic bottles, they don't realize that either some of the oils and actives are eating through the plastic, or it's just not as effective. Yeah, there's
also it just ends up killing fish in the ocean and stuff.
So the caps on these are fully recycled. The labels are made from recycled material, so is the bottle.
We just honestly give a fuck about the earth.
Yeah. So. And then the cream, this is the one we've been testing. I mean, I'm still making the serum and stuff. Similar ingredients as the serum, although this is going to be your last step in your moisturizing routine. If you're using it at nighttime, you can add a face oil or something after this, and in the daytime, add a sunscreen after this. Do not forget your sunscreen. It's getting sunny out there. And ours is going to come out right after these. So, yeah.
Yes.
Well, again, thanks for being here. If you have any questions about the products, let me know. Let Atlas know. DM us.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your podcast apps. Thank you so much for being here and listening to our story. Please do hit us up. Tell us what you want to hear more about. We are putting polls on our stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. Cloudpink Podcast is at Cloudpink Podcast is our new page on Instagram and TikTok. So we're on there. We're going to be posting little bits there too. So follow us at Cloudpink Podcast, at Cloudpink Beauty, cloudpinkbeauty.com. And
see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks so much for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait. Thank you.